Oh, hello there. Yes, well, that was an interesting day yesterday, wasn't it? What with that note from the Treasury or the OBR that said, "I'm sorry, there's no money," which means, yes, well, we'll just have to put up with living in a country where nothing will be paid for, which is very good news because, well, we don't actually want public services, do we? Because that wouldn't really spur on the private sector to something business sense. And anyway, we can't possibly borrow more money than we can afford because nobody's ever heard of a mortgage or indeed the notion of a country's finances not being like a household budget. Still, good to know that all the major political parties are going to treat us with a level of contempt that their particular donors require, because of course what this does show is the enormous ability of the Labour right to always sell out the people that they supposedly represent, for all the right reasons, you understand. You have to be pragmatic about these things. It's just that I've reached that stage in my life where I don't really want to be pragmatic about things, if you don't mind. Yeah, I don't actually want any more to be told that it's jam tomorrow. I'm old enough to require some jam for today, if you don't mind. One of the things about the current Labour administration, of course, is, well, they were always going to find a deficit and a black hole and spending cuts. Always. We knew this from a few years ago because, well, everyone said that's what they were going to do. Left-wing commentators who consequently were, told that if they dared to say anything about that, it would let the Tories in, when it patently wouldn't. But this is a government under Starmer, his Labour Party. I always like it when you say that. It's my Labour Party. Oh, OK, mate. I thought it belonged to the members. Well, not anymore. Come back to that. But yeah, his Labour Party, of course, is that it is more than happy to accept mass donations from massively wealthy individuals and do what they want, like the deal they cut with Murdoch in terms of introducing no new press regulation. And rightly so, because I do want to live in a country where basically every single thing that I read feels like it's been written by somebody at GB News. That's obviously the kind of world that I want to live in, trying to persuade me that the evidence of my eyes is wrong, just to bring in a little bit of Orwellian stuff there, of course. Yes, so anyway, we know that these things happen. One has to say, well, why is it, for example, that the Labour Party are doing this? Well, because they have to. Having destroyed the mass membership party that there was under Jeremy Corbyn, they have therefore no money left, because an awful lot of that also went in all of those nasty little legal battles that there were over their attempts to get rid of Jeremy Corbyn. And therefore, of course, the Labour Party has to rely on donations from people with a lot of money who, oddly, require certain things in return. I'm old enough to remember the last major Labour defeat, and if you looked at the candidates then, barring Jeremy Corbyn, they all said the same thing. We need to be more business friendly. That's always where the Labour right will go. We need to be more business friendly and then we'll be elected, except the evidence doesn't really match up. Now, I fully appreciate that if magically Jeremy Corbyn had become, say, the Prime Minister in the teens, that things would not have gone swimmingly. There's a very good chance, for example, we would have had an army coup against him, if nothing else, because obviously we can't have a system whereby we have jam today. That cannot be allowed. However, so much was thrown away. And so many of these people, like Wes Streeting, majority of only about 560. Mate, you can be an MP for the next few years, but I don't know if you're going to be an MP long term. That's the issue. Okay, you can throw people like me under a bus, but we don't go out and do the legwork that get you elected in the first place. So, no money from me, no money from other people like me. Why? I don't have any. Why? Because I am being burdened with tax to pay for the basic minimum public services that I may or may not expect, whilst at the same time being told through all those propaganda outlets that I must give tax cuts to the rich. Because after all, after 40 years of tax cuts for the rich, I'm magically an awful lot better off. Aren't I? No. Anyway, do have a lovely day if you can do. It's still pretty darn warm. Oh yeah.